Hello, this is a video I'm making just for my own sanity. A reminder for myself that even when I'm being targeted by someone undeservedly, I have the choice of how I react. I have a choice of what I make with it. And I have a choice on whether or not I allow this person to drag me down to their level. I have a right to say what happened to me. And no matter how someone tries to use the legal system against me in an illegal way, I'm going to keep doing me and keep being true to myself and keep being true to the truth. Because I don't really know any other way to be. And I don't want to be any other way. I am me. And I have inner strength, and I have a loving family, and I have resilience, and no matter what she does, she can't take that from me. She can try. She can be jealous. I'm not even dating her ex-boyfriend anymore. I don't know why she's obsessed. And the stupidest part is I kind of almost feel bad for her. Not bad enough to, let her get away with it, but I just feel bad thinking about what kind of mental state she must be in to try and attack a literal stranger. Like, I don't even know this person. I haven't spoken to her in years. All I did was comment on a public post about a similar experience I had with her as the person who made the post. And it set her off. It scared her. She doesn't like the truth of her actions, and I don't know if it's because she's truly delusional and doesn't actually remember the truth, or if, it's because she doesn't want the jig to be up. She wants to keep deceiving people, and honestly, at this point, it doesn't even really matter. Obviously, I do have a lot of empathy for people struggling with mental health issues, but I've struggled with mental health issues, and I've never seen that as justification to hurt others. And I think it's just lazy to make that your excuse to hurt others. You're not holding yourself accountable. You're not doing any self-reflection when you're like that, when you have to blame other people. And so, I'm not gonna lie, last night was really rough for me. I could barely sleep. I was crying. I had a panic attack for the first time in a really long time because I don't know to what lengths this crazy psychotic human will go to try and hurt me, what other lies she'll make up to try to hurt me. It's been very distressing, but you know what I didn't do? I didn't try to hurt myself as I had done in the past, not necessarily recent past, but in the past with mental health struggles. When things felt overwhelming and too much, I always directed it inward. And I did slip back a little bit, and I was really disappointed in myself. But when I was talking to someone from the Trevor Project about everything going on, they said, you know what? You shouldn't be disappointed, because instead of doing that, you're being self-aware. You're calling out what you've done in the past and how it didn't work for you, and you're trying to do something different, even when you feel like you're in an emotional crisis. And you know what I did do? I used box breathing. I used my 5-4-3-2-1 grounding method. I pulled myself out of a panic attack, and that fucking rocks. And I haven't let it ruin my day. I've still had great conversation with my son and my friends, and I've still written poetry to help me cope. I've still cuddled my cats, even if I can't talk to them the way she claims she can, and I've still found a way to laugh. I've still found a way to smile. And I've still found a way to be true to myself. And I am proud of me, and I do see my strength. And I'm not perfect. I'm not 100%, never gonna have issues with trauma or mental health. And that's okay. I accept where I'm at, and I appreciate where I'm at, especially compared to where I've been. I know that when I was first dealing with her stalking issues in 22 to 24, it did wear on me a lot. I was afraid, especially after she must have found where I lived to break the taillight on my car. I guess she could have done it when I was out and about, but she obviously knows where I live. She has my address. She probably has my phone number and my emails. You can find a lot of stuff online, and she is, someone who doesn't really have a real life. It's just an online life, and I feel almost bad for her, but she's just laying in the bed she made. I do hope, though, that she chooses better one day. But it's not my responsibility, and I won't pretend like it is. My only responsibility is to myself and the people I choose to be responsible for, like my child or my friends. And I just want to take this time to really reflect on how much I've progressed in the midst of struggle. My friends all sent me all the screenshots of her messaging from the Resistance Network of Arizona, which is insane, and hopefully they do something about that, because I worry for the other vulnerable people that may message that and be met with harassment, cyber stalking for years, all that. But it's crazy to see how she wants to try and project onto me. She's like, Lolly has PTSD and she's a lot like me. It's like, actually, I don't have PTSD anymore because I did the inner work. I did that, and you can't take that from me. And you can try and drag me down to your level, but she's never going to. No one can drag me down to their level unless I allow it, because I am in control of myself. And I think that's the main difference between me and her, is that I'm in control of myself and she's not. And there is that part of me that does feel bad for her. I think that's the hardest part of having, true empathy for others. Even when you don't want to have it, you do. And so, yeah. If I take the time to put myself in her shoes, I do feel bad for her. To be so deluded and paranoid, almost like a schizophrenic person, that's not a fun existence, I imagine. And I don't think anyone is to blame for their mental health issues, but I do believe we are all responsible for fixing our mental health issues, for finding that wellness if we really want it. But she's chosen to continue to make excuses, blame others, play the victim, and I get it, because I was there once. And I'm really proud of myself for not being there anymore. I'm not a victim of her. Sure, she's doing some crazy, fucked up, illegal shit to me. But I'll make it through like I always do. And I've made it through a lot. Sometimes when I tell my story, it almost doesn't feel real, because I wonder, how could someone go through all that and be okay? But I am. And, yeah, this is just for posterity's sake, for me documenting what I'm going through. I did speak to a judge about the injunction, which I'll be disputing. And she said I'm absolutely allowed to tell my side of the story, talk about what I'm feeling. I can post it anywhere on social media. I can talk to anyone about what she's done to me. I just cannot contact her, which I don't want to. And I can't ask anyone to contact her for me, which I wouldn't dream of. I do not want anything to do with Psycho Stalker Lady. I would just like if I could forget she exists, but she's very persistent and really wants my attention for some reason. I don't know. I've never wanted the attention of people that don't like me, but I guess she does. And it's probably an insecurity thing, and again, there's part of me that feels bad, because I just imagine it must be a really miserable life to constantly feel like you're the victim. It is a miserable life. I know from experience, actually. It's a miserable life to always feel like you're a victim and to always be afraid. I think I had mentioned before in another video, when I was coming out of a domestic violence relationship with my son's birth father, I did lean heavy into the victim mentality, and it was honestly kind of a necessary part of my healing journey looking back, though I wish it wouldn't have lasted as long. But because when I was in the relationship, I denied that I was a victim for so long, and I was always fighting to prove to him that what he did was wrong, and obviously it was never going to work, but really I was trying to prove to myself that what I'd been through was wrong. And it can be hard to accept that, because when you accept that people can do harm to you without you deserving it, it opens you up to a scary worldview. And that is the true world, where lots of bad people do lots of bad things to lots of people that don't deserve it. And sometimes justice is never served. And that's the sad reality. But I also am accepting that. I can't change it. And maybe I don't want to. Maybe if life was perfectly balanced, it wouldn't be so interesting. Not to say that I'm interested in drama or pain, but I mean, in a weird way, humans kind of are, because if everything was perfect all the time, it would be monotonous and boring, right? That's the theory anyways, but yeah, I have grown a lot, and I'm thankful for this unwanted conflict to show me that I've grown, and I can always find the silver linings in anything. And yeah, maybe last night was really rough. Maybe I spiraled into worst case scenarios about her following through on the threats she made to try to get my son taken away from me with fake CPS reports. That's a really scary idea for me, and I acknowledge that. But if she continues to do illegal things to try to get me in trouble for things I haven't done, that will eventually catch up to her, even in a broken justice system like America's. Hopefully, I mean, unless you're president. That's another tangent, but I don't know. I'm feeling very introspective today, and I think can only do me good, right? That's the thing that abusers don't do, is introspect. They don't take the time to truly reflect and ask themselves where they went wrong, what they could have done differently, and how they can do it different the next time. And that's why they repeat their patterns of behavior. It's tiring having to think about her, so I'm going to continue to think about my own actions and my own responsibility in this life, and I'll do what I can, and I won't necessarily, put all my eggs in the basket that the justice system will come through. She's faked evidence before. Let her. Continue to dig your own grave. It's not really my problem. I'm my only problem. And, I think I'm a good problem to have for myself. So, I'm gonna keep trying to smile. Keep trying to do my best, like I have been. And, she'll be her. What a sad, sad life. I do hope. Maybe as she's stalking me, probably watching this video, maybe she can try to get her shit together. Maybe she can try to ask herself the hard questions of why does she feel the need to go above and beyond, to lie to law enforcement, to try and hurt people who really want nothing to do with her. That would be a question I would be asking myself if I were her. Like, why do I feel the need to harass people who want nothing to do with me? Like, I don't understand the point. I think maybe it's insecurity, wanting to feel seen. I know when I was in high school, I definitely would say a lot of out-of-pocket things, not like mean things, but just like weird things to get attention, and then I would hate myself afterwards because I knew it was just to get attention, and she's probably in a similar cycle, unfortunately. Just never grew past it. Sometimes people don't change and grow, and that's kind of sad to me, but it's also reality, and all we can do is not be like them. All we can do is keep doing our best and focus on what there is to be grateful for in this life, because if there's anything cognitive behavioral therapy has taught me, it's that I get to choose what's in my mind. Sure, I don't get to choose what happens around me. I don't get to choose how other people behave, but I do choose what I think about. I do choose how I respond and react. And I choose if I want to transform ugly shit into beautiful lessons, and I do, and I will. So, I'm sending love to everyone, even the shitty people out there that want to hurt me for no good reason. Not like, I want you in my life, love, but love like, please go fix yourself and leave me alone. Alright, I'm gonna end this video here and continue on with the rest of my day. Bye!